After a successful 20-year career in the throes of corporate America, Kelley stepped away to found his next company, Tiege Hanley, a 6-year-old e-commerce company with a mission of helping men look and feel amazing. Tiege has shipped its 1.5 millionth box on July 2022 and has over 350,000 customers worldwide. Kelley is focused on enriching the experience for all customers and guiding men to a healthier lifestyles founded on self-confidence. I'm really excited to talk with Kelley Thornton today about his success and how to help others. Please welcome my guest, Kelley Thornton. All right, welcome everybody to Money 911, where we talk about health, wealth, and peace of mind, because they all work together, right? And I'm really excited today. We're gonna just have our conversation and take things to the next level. Kelley, it's really fabulous to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Joining from Chicago. And all of you guys that are watching, make sure you put that subscribe button in there, because we got a ton of really good guests that are in queue, and you want to be aware when we come on, and that's how we get some momentum here, so every ear will hear. And I just want to jump right in, because you have such an interesting company, and you've been doing this for a while, right?
We have. Yeah, Tiege Hanley is going to be 7 years old this month, and we are very excited. We are very, very, very excited that we've made it this far and helping men look and feel amazing.
And you did it through a pandemic too, so that's even cooler. Now, you know, when you decided to step away from corporate America and start, right? It was probably exhilarating, and you were probably onto something. Maybe you could describe a little bit what led you away from your little secure corporate into becoming a successful entrepreneur.
Well, it's like a huge transition in someone's life to do that, especially later on. I already had, family, children, multiple, 3 children were all born at the time. So leaving a corporate job to go into a much riskier, a much riskier type of employment, which is owning your own business, is a big deal. It took me about a year, actually. It was from the time I really decided to do it to when I did. It was a lengthy process. But to answer your question, I think I saw what I could do and how much commerce I could bring to companies that I was working for. I saw how much that I was able to help those companies in developing, their businesses and being profitable and managing and running. And I felt if I could do it for someone else, I could do it for myself. So that was kind of the impetus for me wanting to start on my own.
Right. You wrote something that kind of caught my attention, and it's entrepreneurship PTSD. That caught my eye, because there's so much of that. I have a little bit of that from some head injuries and things that I've gone through.
Oh no!
Right, but it just clicked, because there is that comes up, and I'd just like to hear your take on where you come from in saying that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it all goes to what you've probably discussed a lot on your show, but just about the risk tolerance of an entrepreneur, and how you have to go through tremendous ups and downs. I mean, the highs and lows of owning your own business is just, it's just incredibly difficult and very challenging. I mean, to the point of staying up all night worried about, paying bills and, hiring people and having to fire people and not knowing if you have enough money at the end of the month to make payroll. And you were speaking quickly about COVID earlier, and all of those things, and trying to figure out how to really be the best steward you can of both your company and your human capital, and trying your best to do what's right for employees over time. So this is really a traumatic experience, I think, for most entrepreneurs. They go through these incredible highs and lows. Yeah.
It is incredible, and it takes a lot of faith because you're just leaping out into the unknown, and you're following your passion,
Right. Right.
right?
Exactly.
And your teach handling that
Yeah.
you built a voice in the market.
Yeah.
Eight-figure business. I mean, very successful and
Huge.
huge, really.
Yeah. We
In
have a huge
seven
business.
years, that's crazy. I mean, that's really
Thank you.
very right. So when you're building this voice in the market and then you're spotting like cultural changes to find
Yeah.
market opportunity.
Yeah. Very hard.
Yeah.
Very, very hard. And I don't know if I have really, Kris, I don't know if I have like a great, words of wisdom on that, but I think like staying true to yourself and staying true to what you believe, I think is the way to somewhat to navigate things. And then also coming to grips with the fact that not everybody's going to be your customer. I always think of the Southwest story. When Southwest just started, there was a woman that started flying it, and she was used to flying. She flew it on business, and she used to, and this is probably a 40-year-old or 50-year-old story, but she used to fly, other carriers, and she started flying Southwest, and she was very upset. Like every flight, she didn't get the right snack or the right seat or the right whatever in line. And so every single flight, she was writing a note to the CEO saying, dear, I forget the gentleman's name, dear, so forth and so on, your peanuts aren't that good, or, your seating profile is not that good, or, your flight attendants aren't nice. And and someone came in with a whole stack of letters and put it on his desk and said, I think you ought to read these letters. And he read a few of them, and then he wrote her a note back and said, dear Mrs. Crabapple, please enjoy the rest of your flying career on American Airlines. Sincerely, CEO of Southwest. And so that's pretty dramatic. But I think the point is not everybody's going to be your customer, and you have to be okay with that. And so these culturally challenging times that we're in, some people call up and they want to know what our COVID policy is, or our they want to know this information. And
goodness,
it's just where do you draw the line, and how do what do we say and do?
Yeah. And the cultural is radical, the changes and things that are trying to be imposed. It really is standing in your own power, right? In your own brand, your own truth.
100%.
Right?
100%.
And I might make more money if I give in to something that you're not one with, but you'll lose your soul in the meantime, right?
Exactly.
It's crazy. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I think my mother used to always say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. And so I think
my mom said that too.
Yeah. And so I think there are certain things. I mean, we are uber social, but we're fully direct to consumer business. So we're uber social. We publish multiple things on social channels every day. And I think there's some things we avoid talking about because it doesn't make sense one way or the other. We're either making someone upset and making someone else happy, or making someone happy and making someone else upset. So we don't say it. If we don't have anything relevant to say, we just don't say it.
Right. And a lot of things you can't do anything about at this point anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But Siege Hanley, right?
Teach. Yeah.
Teach.
Yeah.
It's but it sounds like Siege, but it's Teach, right?
Yes, that's right.
Reached impressive milestones in really a short time. And maybe share a story of a customer whose life has changed because, you're working with men. There aren't a lot of, I haven't seen tons. They're more women centered, right?
Yeah. We play clips, both audio clips, and we read testimonials every single week in our executive meeting. And there's the greatest clips of all times. There's funny, and people are calling every day because we have about 1,000 tickets a day, that customer experience tickets. So we have a lot of engagement with our customers. But one of the stories, and it's kind of a tough story, but a gentleman wrote in a few years ago, about 3 years ago. He's from the Pacific Northwest. And he said that he had developed testicular cancer. He has 3 young children, happily married, and he went through this very hard time with dealing with this. And fortunately, he was able to recover from it and continue living his life. But what he said in his testimonial about our products is, he said he during his recovery, he was still able to use our skincare routine in the morning, washing his face after he brushes his teeth, using a high quality moisturizer, and at night doing the same. And that was one connection point to him through his recovery, that he felt a sense of normalcy in his life, that this brought a very sense of normalcy. So it's that those few extra minutes that people have an opportunity to take care of themselves and feel good about themselves. And those are the moments that we hear about all the time from our customers that are the best.
Boy, you would never imagine that. I mean, someone going through cancer but it's true, just the normal of just a daily life, and something that makes you feel good when you do it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And you feel like normal for a moment.
That's what this gentleman said. And, he's fully recovered and he is still a customer. But it's those type of things, those great inspirational things that we hear from our customers all the time. And, and a lot of it's like they hear compliments from people. They haven't seen a relative in a while, and someone says to them, what have you been doing to yourself? You look different. Like, did you get a different haircut, or what's going on? So, those are the things we love to hear, because we're making a difference in a guy's life.
Right. Well, being a busy entrepreneur and CEO, you're juggling all kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
And I've always asked everyone this, because, you have 8-figure, whatever business, you're handling all of this stuff. And to maintain your focus and your sanity and to keep your family, what strategies, what rituals, what, prayers, what keeps you grounded? What keeps you productive and focused?
Super regimented routine in life. Not for everybody. It's, for me, it works very well. Like I do the same thing every Tuesday morning at 6 o'clock a.m. I work very similar hours, exercising on a very tight routine. My work schedule is very iterative. Every month, every day, it's always, I shouldn't say it's iterative. It's very consistent every day. So these things, and doing all of these things, like working out routinely, having coffee with the specific people on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, getting up early on Saturday, working for a few hours before I start my weekend, having like really super disciplined routine helps me focus on maximizing my effectiveness and my time in life. So that's what works for me.
Yeah, that's good. It's focus, super focus, and discipline. Great.
Correct.
Now, your business is based on loyalty, right?
Yes.
And it's got a passionate customer base. And so I'm sure, like you say, you get 1,000 responses every day from people that use your product.
Correct. Yeah. We get about anywhere from 800 to 1,000 tickets to our customer experience team every day. Yeah, it's tons.
That's amazing. And do you have any stories of anybody that went above and beyond the normal?
I mean, it happens.
Have a lot.
It happens. Yeah. We had a guy in Indiana whose house burnt down, and we got some product back, and somehow we found out, and we returned to sender product. And we ended up getting in touch with him. We didn't know his house burned down. And we said, like, what's going on? Like, we've had these packages, they've gone out to, do you not have the right address? Can we help you like update your address? And he goes, well, that is the right address, but my house burnt down. So I'm living temporarily someplace else and I can't afford your product through this time and everything else. So, we ended up not only sending them free boxes of product, but I think the customer experience team sent them like, a microwave or something like that. Aww. I forget what they did, but and the guy got a great kick out of it. Those stories happen a lot too. Yeah. We had a woman from the UK contact us. Actually, another story about cancer. She was in the hospital and she sent us pictures of herself. She was buying our product for her son. And she said, I can no longer continue to purchase your product for my son, because I'm in the hospital fighting cancer. And we said, don't worry about it. We'll just send your son, for the next 6 months, we'll send your son. We send out monthly boxes. So we'll just send them to your son for the next 6 months till you get back, recovered. So those are the things, we try to make a difference in people's lives if we can.
Well, that almost answers my next question, because, besides financial success, and that's just one little small, to me, that's a small piece, you're the founder. Yeah. And that, the deep sense of fulfillment that you get, that's really validated your decision to start this company. What comes up for you the first off the top?
Again, I think like, right, what are your values? What are your values in life? And, and I think and I know your show's Money 911, but for me, it's really about, how do I live my best life? How do I live the life and my priorities and thinking about myself, my personal health, the people around me, and, the gifts that were given to me. How do I use those gifts to help other people, which includes the gift of the earth and everything that's given to us, and how can we be good stewards of that? So taking care of my family, my relationship with my employees, and the gifts that are given to me. That's how I live my life, and those are the focal points of my business.
Right, and that has to be that's how you have your best life. That's so important to me. Literally about halfway through my journey, I know it's a successful business, but when I got about halfway through, I realized, it isn't just about me, right? You're like, oh, you've got your money, you got this, but how can I take what I have and give back? And so I shifted my whole business into a give back, and now I'm in a process of creating a council on the C-Suite network called Conscious Giving Council, and gathering people like you or people that are successful that want to change the world. And it's not so much like a charity, but, bringing like-minded people together and giving to help others, because we are the world and we can change the world. And I believe that, and we will. And there'll be a lot of shakening, that'll be awakening, but coming together, it's amazing what, 2 or 3 people can do. So that give back is so important.
Yeah. I met a young man over the weekend. He's a very successful athlete, and was just drafted. I don't want to say too much details about him, but he was a very young gentleman, and I spent a couple hours with him on Sunday, and all he was talking about was how he wanted to give back, to people that helped him get to where he is. And he's an elite athlete. I mean, we're talking at the top of his, amongst his peers, he's made it to the top. Yeah. And, and he's a young guy. This guy's 22 years old. And all he wanted to talk about was giving back and trying to provide the same opportunity for other people. And it's just amazing to hear someone, who's really as high a level as an athlete as he is, and all he was thinking about was how can he help other people get there too. So there's greatness of all types out there, a young and beginning of their career and towards the end of their career. And it's a great thing to see.
That's inspiring because, and I think there's a certain generation kind of similar to the one that I was in the 60s and 70s, kind of like, sort of a waking up and wanted peace on earth and, make good changes. And that's the prayer for the earth. And I'm glad to hear that. And I've really enjoyed talking to you, and tell everybody how they can get in contact with you.
Yeah. I mean, follow me on LinkedIn. I spend a lot of time, putting content on LinkedIn that I think people would find enjoyable. We have a great offer for your audience. If anybody wants to try skincare for themselves, for their men in their lives, if you go to teach.com and /money911, we have a phenomenal offer, one of our best ever. So give our product a try, and please send a note to our customer experience team and let us know what your experience is. We'd love to get your feedback.
Yes, I want to hear it too. I want to hear the feedback because it's amazing. Little things mean a lot. And I mean, I've looked years for skin products, and just a simple little thing, it's just like, boom, you're all awake and, sparkle. And it's just like inside outside, because it's just a reflection of what you're supposed to feel like, sparkly inside, and right?
Exactly.
Bring it on
correct.
outside. Kelley, it's been really a joy to talk to you. Everybody reach out again and check out the special at Tiege Hanley /money911, right?
It's just TIEGE.com /money911. And
See,
it's awesome. So, but, please give us a try. We want your feedback. Thanks for having me on your show, Kris.
Hey, thanks for being here. All right, we will return, and thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. There's so much to learn about healthy money. I hope today's discussion brings you one step closer to securing and protecting your future. So you can get started on the right foot, go to meetwithkrismiller.com and schedule your free financial fitness strategy session. Thank you for listening, and please subscribe to Money 911 so you don't miss our next episode, which includes health, wealth, and peace of mind.